Hey, everybody, welcome to Profiling Evil on Court TV. In June of 2019, a black man and a white woman were gunned down next to a park bench and alongside a river in Cleveland Metro Parks. This case has remained unsolved, and your help is needed. The victims are described as being incredibly nice and well respected. They weren't a couple by all accounts, and their families are praying that someone will come forward and tell police what they know. Were these folks murdered by someone they know, or was it simply a passerby and a crime of opportunity? Join Profiling Evil as we chat with Michael Ayala on Court TV. What happened to Carnell Sledge and Kate Brown?
Welcome back. Now is the time in our show when we open up the unsolved case file. And tonight we're taking a look at the 2019 murders of Carnell Sledge and Catherine Brown. Their bodies found in an Ohio park. Emily Hamilton, a reporter with our great affiliate, has the story.
For most, it was an ordinary Tuesday afternoon in Cleveland. Highs in the 70s with a tantalizing taste of warmer weather just on the horizon.
It was kind of, summer's inching closer and closer.
But for the families of Kate Brown and Carnell Sledge,
there's no sense of time. It's just as raw.
A day permanently tainted.
Missing Kate, it hits you every single day.
By a horrific crime that unfolded in the Rocky River Reservation of the Cleveland Metro Parks.
Whoever committed this crime either is the luckiest person in the world or executed this perfectly.
For Brown's family,
her birthday's coming up in October.
Yeah, October 12th.
It's the day their world turned on its axis.
It's just so incredibly painful. It impacts every facet of your life.
I look out and see families, young families, and Kate's not here.
Forced to navigate the insufferable, cyclical 5 stages of grief over the last 2 years.
We're all figuring out how as a family to stay as close as we all have always been, despite the fact that a huge part of us is gone.
After Brown and Sledge were shot to death in broad daylight in the Metro Parks. First came denial.
I don't think of Kate having been murdered because it's too painful.
And as reality began to sink in,
it's almost like you're internally bleeding.
Anger reared its head.
It's the worst feeling in the world. And I, wouldn't wish that on anyone.
After 731 days with no answers, the Brown family still finds themselves bargaining, pleading.
We wake up every day not only ridden with grief, but constantly questioning how and why 2 wonderful people had been gunned down. We are here today at this press conference to plead with anyone who has information to please come forward.
There's no evidence, and there hasn't been a single suspect.
For Kate's younger sister, Alex Zuban, depression and despair creep in, sometimes when she least expects it.
You deal with the pain, but it never, ever, ever ceases to feel, and it takes your breath away.
All right, that was Emily Hamilton with WEWS in Ohio. And if you have any information at all, please call Crime Stoppers at 216-252-7463. All right, still with me, retired FBI Special Agent Bobby Chacon and retired police commander and host of the Profiling Evil podcast, Mike King. And joining us now in Cleveland, Ohio, is the Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Cleveland Division, Eric Smith. I want to thank you all again for being with me. And Eric Smith, again, thank you for joining us this evening. And I'll start with you. It's been a couple of years. Any updates on the case at all? Any movement?
No, Michael, first of all, thank you for having us. And I do want to say that I thought Emily's piece laid it out perfectly. Obviously, a heinous crime and one that continues following up on every lead. We've got over 100 leads so far and tips from the field, and we continue to develop our own leads. So we're working hard and assiduously to try to get to the bottom of this. And we know that somebody out there in the public has answers to this. And we think that the generous donations of the family for the $70,000 reward that they've offered, $25,000 from the FBI and an additional $5,000 from Crime Stoppers, is a heck of an incentive for somebody to come forward with some piece of information that we know will solve this heinous crime.
All right, set the scene a little bit for us. Is this the type of area where this type of thing is common, uncommon, a lot of people, not a lot of people? Because this happened in the middle of the day.
It did, and just as Emily pointed out in her piece, this was a beautiful early summer day on June 4th of 2019, and we believe that Carnell and Kate arrived somewhere just shortly after 5:04, walked over to a park bench that faces the water, and somebody approached them from behind. Somebody or individuals approached them from behind and murdered them in broad daylight. And this is a very active area, particularly on a day like this, where you'd see numerous hikers, joggers, kayakers. And so the fact that somebody would do this in such a brazen way in broad daylight, it really confounds, conventional wisdom. And we know that somebody out there has information. We just ask that they call either the Crime Stoppers number that you already placed out there, or 1-877-FBI Ohio, which will be answered 24 hours a day. And we're eager to get the public's assistance in getting to the bottom of this.
All right, now, Mike King, the facts that go along with a case, the evidence in the case, they all speak to us. They all tell us something. In this case, we have it done in broad daylight. We have it done shooting. One of the victims shot more times than the other. We have it that it happened in a place where it's uncommon for this type of thing to happen. They end up by a lake. They're sitting on a bench, end up by a lake. It's the middle of the day. What are the facts in this case telling you about what might have happened here?
Yeah, the first thing is that it was very opportunistic in some levels, because it is such a place where it would be really easy for someone to see what was going on. This couple didn't appear to be having any kind of relationship, so it doesn't look like there would be anything that's leading in that direction other than someone opportunistically driving by, seeing something, focusing on this young man who was shot multiple times, and then from the evidence that we've been able to see on public sources, that as she was trying to get away from the scene, then being shot.
Bobby Chacon, anything about the facts or evidence in this case that we've heard jump out at you in terms of understanding what might have happened here?
No, I mean, and I agree with the SAC that this is confounding, because, you tell people, don't go to the wrong side of town, don't go out late at night, don't go, out alone. They were in a populated park in the middle of the day together. These are two, upstanding people. Neither of them seemed to have anything in their background that would indicate that they would become a victim of violence. And then in a very kind of bucolic setting, they're just gunned down. And it's really one of those cases, I can tell you as an agent, it lives with you. The agents work in this case, I am sure, are living with this thing. They are trying everything. They're putting 110% in there. They're going home thinking about it. They're thinking about it, on the weekends. They're thinking about it at night, and because it's so, it's so unusual that you get two people in the prime of their lives, two good people, just senselessly gunned down in a beautiful setting. It shouldn't happen. We're just not used to this kind of thing, and I'm sure that there's going to be a break in this case. There's a substantial reward as long as we, keep at, talking about it, keep it in the public's eye. Somebody knows something. You can't have 3 shots. I mean, when you saw the video of the police responding, there were cars parked there. This is, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. When people get off work, they go for a walk in the park. People are very, creatures of habit. So there's probably people that walk there every day. It really would stun me if 3 shots went off and nobody heard anything. So I think that there's somebody out there that knows something, and I think we're going to catch a break in this case hopefully soon.
Eric Smith, you've mentioned a couple of times that you believe there's someone out there who knows something. Is that based on some of the factors that Bobby is talking about, or do you know something more that you believe someone knows something?
Well, I just think just simply based on, somebody committed murder, and either that person is going to come forward, or he's told somebody, or she's told somebody else about the murder. And so we're asking that those individuals come forward and relieve the family of this incredible grief, and get justice for Carnell and Kate. And we know that information is out there, and we feel confident that's going to happen, just like Bobby said. And so we're just asking again, anybody that was in that vicinity on that day and that time frame to please come forward, call 877 FBI Ohio or the Crime Stoppers number, and let's get this let's get justice done for Carnell and Kate.
No question, and we certainly appreciate your efforts in that area. Let's go quickly to a comment from one of our viewers. This one comes from Mel, who says, "So sad. I really feel for this family. A park that size, maybe no witnesses, but people talk. It's nature. Someone or some people know something." And Mike King, there's a couple of ways I can go with this, but right now, let me ask you, it's obvious that Eric Smith and the folks out there are working hard in the FBI trying to solve this case. How much does that mean to a family who is suffering and just wants answers, but they know, even though there aren't answers today, there's someone out there in law enforcement who cares and continues to work on the case?
Yeah, it's incredibly important, and it's so valuable to keep reminding the public that there's a tip line where they can call and give information. It's a real fine line that all of these people that are out in social media trying to share information run in these kinds of investigations, because the family does feel the support from the community, but the community is about information and law enforcement handles investigations. So we need to make sure that any information that someone knows goes to the authorities and that the authorities can then follow up on those. Again, for the family, it is really game changing to know that there is a community they've never met that are concerned and care about them, because it also impacts their lives.
No question about it. And we continue to hope for the best. We'll continue to get the word out there. I want to thank Eric Smith for all the wonderful work that you're doing out there. We truly, truly appreciate that. And actually, all our investigators. I want to thank you, Bobby Chacon, Mike King as well, for joining me tonight. We always appreciate your time, effort, and expertise.
Well, this is a really interesting case. And when they met at the park, Kate had just purchased a new purse and was coming from the gym. Carnell was headed to his grandmother's house for dinner. In fact, as he lay there dead, his grandmother kept texting him saying, "Are you on your way, Carnell? The food's getting cold. Call Grandma." Well, he never did. My question for you is, do you think this was a targeted murder or an opportunistic crime? Could racism be a part of this intriguing whodunit? These families need answers, so if you know something, folks, would you please say something? I'm going to be watching for your answers down below. And I want to thank you for supporting Profiling Evil. I hope you'll take a moment and hit that like and the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you get all of our notifications on videos like this one. And I want to especially thank Court TV for the chance to appear and discuss this interesting case. Thanks again for supporting us at Profiling Evil, and we'll see you soon at the next crime scene.